Hey y'all, it's Janine, and as promised, I'm going to do an unboxing of my brand new We Are Memory Keepers Evolution Advanced. I got to tell you, when I told my husband what I wanted for my birthday, that I wanted a die cutting machine, we looked at a number of different possibilities, and I had pretty much settled on the fact that I was going to get a Cuttlebug, because I felt like for what it did and what I was going to use it for, that it would be more than sufficient. And for the price point, I just felt like it was just a better deal. I just couldn't see spending the extra money on a machine to do no more or less than what a Cuttlebug could do for me. So that being said, we go shopping, couldn't find the Cuttlebug. We found this that looks almost, pretty much the same as Cuttlebug, shape wise, but let me tell you, it is very, very different. But if you saw my haul video, then you know I got a phenomenally good deal on this. It still ended up costing me a little bit more than what a Cuttlebug would have, but when I started looking at the YouTube videos after I bought it, so I went ahead and just bought it. I said, well, it's pretty much the same thing as a Cuttlebug with a 40% off coupon. Then wow, why not go ahead and get, this machine? It's right here, it's right now. Rather than having to order something online, and pay the shipping and so forth, I can get this. And then with the Cuttlebug, I would have had to have purchased extra plates, an embossing mat, and so forth and so on. So I would have ended up spending about what I spent on this machine anyway, and even more when you add the shipping. So this really did end up being a better deal. And after I got it and started realizing how different it is, I got really, really excited. With the Big Shot and the Big Kick by Sizzix, and with the Cuttlebug, you have to do, and so many other die cutting machines, you have to do all of this layering of plates. So many plates for this plate in between those two plates, and so forth and so on. It's all about building these sandwiches that builds the proper amount of height, to go through the machine to get the effect you're looking for. So if you just want embossing, then, and so you don't have to press the paper down as hard, or maybe harder, I'm not sure, than die cutting or so forth. But this We Are Memory Keepers simplified that process so much. So now, instead of having to do all that plate building, there's two pieces you use. So let me go ahead and just get to the unboxing, and we'll see that, because I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but those of you who are like me and kind of novices and didn't really know about the whole, about, so much detail about so many different machines, you're going to find this really interesting, and you may really want to consider this machine, and you may really want to consider buying it from Hobby Lobby before they get smart and exclude it from the 40% off coupon. So let's go ahead and get everything out the box. Now, I did rip the box by accident like that. It didn't come like that. But first thing you see when you open is the instructions are right on top that tell you how to set it up in several different languages. I think it's in 4 different languages. And it shows you the really exciting feature on this and why you don't have to use all kinds of plates. The rollers are adjustable. The rollers will adjust in height to accommodate the different types of things that you're doing, whether it be die cutting, embossing, or letter pressing, which I don't really know a lot about. And then if you're using, which thickness of paper and so forth. So rather than having to build all these sandwiches out of plates, the roller adjusts, simplifies things immensely. So, and this is what the inside packaging looks like. So let me see if I can. And this bugger is heavy, let me tell you. Let me get these styrofoam pieces out of the way. Another piece of styrofoam. Oh, and this little paper that was in it shows you that the handle is in this compartment. And I'm just pulling everything else out of the box. So now the box is empty. So it comes with the basic plates that you need to make it work. And it also comes with, and I tell you, this is funny because this is worth probably $20, $25 worth the price of the machine, is just these Framelit dies that come with it. They remind me of the Nestabilities. So this entire set of dies comes with the machine. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dies included with the machine. So that right there is worth 20 bucks. I like the shape. That'd be pretty for card making. And then it has the green mat and the B mat. And from what I understand, from what I read about these, this is the platform. This is the first part. This platform goes first. And then you put your die face up with the cutting side up. Then you put the silicone mat on top of it. Oh, I'm sorry. Then you put your paper on top of it. Then the silicone mat on top of it. And the self-healing mat on top of that. And that's it. Let's go ahead and do a demonstration. I'm dying to do this. So here is the dial. And I'm sorry the light is, let me put a little bit of lamp on that. I don't know that helped any. The dial. And so you put it, you push it in and then turn it to the different things that you're going to be using. So it could be, down here is die cutting, and then you would do it for the either thicker or thinner materials, or letter pressing or embossing. And then apparently there's a guide somewhere, and it didn't come with in my box, but there's a guide somewhere, and I will look on We Are Memory Keepers website that shows it's numbered 1 through 15, and apparently all of those numbers correspond to different brands of dies. So I am so jazzed about this, because I think this, even though I had my mindset on a Cuttlebug, this is going to end up being such a better machine for me and so much more versatile. So let me go ahead and they say to open it, and that will engage the suction cup, and then push in, and that locks everything into place. And then these open, and here's the handle, and the compartment back here that open, and it opens. This one opens as well, and you can store your dies in here or other tools. Now the HSN on-air presentation, this came with, it was a lot more expensive, but it came with a lot more stuff too. So, oh, and the handle has an unlock and a lock position. So once you put it in place, you lock it, and now it's good to go. So I went ahead and stamped an image with the stamp set that you saw that I got in my haul, and I went ahead and stamped it out. Now I'm going to put the dies. So let me do this first. I'm kind of doing things a little backwards. Let me get the die positioned on the paper, and I'm going to hold it in place. Now if I had a magnetic platform, which you can purchase a magnetic platform for this machine, but this is what it comes with, so I'm going to work with what it comes with and just tape that into place. I'm just using a little painter's tape because it's low tack. So that'll keep that one there, and then let me go ahead and get these other dies in place. Okay, I think I have this figured out. It's taken me a little time because it honestly did not come with the most detailed of instructions, but I'm honestly having a hard time figuring out with the directions is the silicone mat, because it doesn't seem, unless it's for embossing, and that's the only thing I can figure out that the silicone mat is for, is embossing. When they all say place your die with cutting side up on the gray cutting platform, put paper or other media over the die, cover with cutting mat B, which is what I did the first time, and it did end up etching the design into the cutting mat, which seemed like, in the videos I saw, they said this was like a self-healing material and it wouldn't do that, but it did. So I'm just really confused, honestly. And then for the embossing, it says place paper inside embossing folder and set on platform, cover with cutting mat B, which is still this, roll platform through the Evolution Advanced, but I don't see any instructions about this silicone mat. So the first time I ran it through, I tried to do it, you know, with the 3 pieces, which was like this, and then this, and then the cutting mat, and it wouldn't go through the machine. And I had it set, I already set the dial to like about a medium weight paper for die cutting, and that wasn't anyway, but it wouldn't go through the machine with all these layers. It just won't go through. It's too thick. So I took the silicone mat out and just did it with cutting mat B, but like I said, it scarred the mat, so I'm a little confused about that. So I'm going to try it with just this silicone mat and see what happens. See if anything happens. Well, okay, I think I figured it out, because basically what it did was it embossed the with the dies. It didn't cut, so it would appear that the silicone mat is for embossing, and the B mat, the cutting mat, is for cutting, but it is going to cut into the mat, so be aware of that, which is really kind of a shame because it has this nice ruler on that side. Maybe I ought to so I don't do it, but it has this nice ruler edge on one side, so I don't want to mess that up any further. So from now on I'm going to use that side up. Turn that back over. So now my dies are, my dies are face up with the cutting side up. My cardstock is over that, and then I'm going to put the cutting mat on top of that, or the B mat rather, and run it through the machine, and this time it should cut. And I could feel the resistance when it got to the dies. Okay. Now, for the moment of truth. And yes, it does make an impression into this cutting mat. But it did cut. And these are some very thin dies, let me tell you, but it did cut them beautifully. Let's look at the smaller ones. I did an awesome job. I tell you, finding the placement for these flowers and leaves was quite a task. And I'm still not sure I got them entirely correct. And there's the leaf. Now bringing it closer doesn't help, it just gets darker. But it cut all these little pieces out beautifully. So that's it. I think the evolution's wonderful. I think not having to have, you know, 50 million different plates to stack things together. And my understanding is it will take the old Sizzix dies that were really thick. You would just not use the platform. But otherwise, I couldn't be happier. I think this, you know, like I said, if I had bought the Cuttlebug, I was going to have to buy a whole bunch of extra plates to go with it. And with the Sizzix too, I understand with the Big Shot and the Big Kick, you know, there's still more you have to buy with it. And I'm pretty sure this probably has accessories. I know that if I want to do letter pressing, I'm going to have to buy that stuff, and I understand that's pretty expensive too. But with what I've got in the box, I can get started die cutting and embossing without any issues. I just really wish they had been a little more instruction about what was going on with this silicone mat, because that had me completely confused. But I did want to go ahead and try one of these Framelit dies that came with the kit. I'm quite curious about them. Yeah, let's see, I've got some. And I'm going to leave the setting on the machine the same. And I'm just going to pull one of these Well, I tell you what, they're serious with that tape they put on there. So I'm going to put the die with the cutting side up. The cardstock. Actually, I kind of like the way I did it before. Place it on the cardstock first. I'm going to reuse some of this tape here. That just made living so much easier. Get everything placed first and turn it over. Ain't life grand? Okay. And I'm sorry I don't have any embossing folders to give you a demonstration of that. The only resistance I'm getting here is the tape. It's not from it sticking. Oh, that is perfect. And it embosses a little ridge around it. That's really cool. And it made a perfect, precise cut. Well, that could be cool too. You could use both pieces. You could use this and have a scene behind it, or use it as a shaker card, and then you could color this and decorate it in some kind of way, or do, you know, in different color papers and use the different sizes to layer up. So lots of possibilities there. So this is it. This is the Evolution Advanced by We Are Memory Keepers. I gotta tell you, I was just dead set on getting a Cuttlebug, and now I am so glad that I waited. And my husband was with me, and he kind of really pushed the whole coupon thing along. Anyway, yep, 40% off. It was great. I love it. I was able to take it out of the box and start using it immediately. It just doesn't get better than that. So thank you so much for watching. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and you have a very blessed day.